And I will call out the coaches on the call just so they can wave so that when people are looking back and seeing this, they can. This is our first sneak peek of 2019. It's quite a few teams coming together, and we'll kind of explain the structure of that and how that works as the call moves forward. But my name is Pamela Bussarello, and I am a coach, and I've been a coach for 3 years, and I'm the founder of Tribe Redefine. Joining me to co-lead is Teresa, if you want to wave. Leslie, and then some other coaches who are on, and maybe they invited you in, are Jackie. She's our newest coach on the call. Robin, I'm just going in order you're on my screen. Nicole, my beautiful success partner. Melissa, Laura, and Mindy. Yay. Cool beans. All right. So yeah, you can use the chat feature to ask us any questions that you'd like. And at the end, we'll scroll through them. Maybe we'll have answered them by then. And also the coach that invited you in here is a great resource on next steps, or just if there's anything you'd like clarified for you. So we're going to give you a little bit of a rundown of our 3 stories, just so you get an idea, because the 3 of us came at this in a different direction and from different motivations. Then we're going to break down for you the different types of coaching. We're going to talk to you about support systems and structure, and we're going to talk to you about accountability and community. So I'm going to get us going. I am, as I said, Pamela Bussarello. I don't know where to look because I'm seeing a lot of faces, so I apologize. My eyes are darting around. I am a high school English teacher, and I'm a mom of 3. My kids are 8, 6, and 3, and it was that 3-year-old that was the reason I joined. When I was pregnant with him, and I'm going to keep this story super short because A, I can talk about it forever, and B, it makes me very emotional. But when I was pregnant with him, I was also battling an autoimmune disease, and mid-pregnancy, we found out he had lung lesions. They wouldn't know if they were cancerous or not till after he could have surgery. We wouldn't know the extent of it until he had surgery, and there was really no knowing if his surgery would be in utero or after he was born. So we had to monitor for much of the second half of my pregnancy. And I just became a shell of myself. I stopped any form of fitness, and up until then, I was running frequently. I really kind of phoned it in as a mom. I phoned it in as a teacher. And as a result, I was just phoning it in as myself. And lucky for us and thankful to God that when we had our final scan with him at 32 weeks, it looked like his CCAM, that's what the lesions are called, had kind of tapered off, not gotten smaller, but just stopped increasing in size. So they would let him be born full term whenever he decided to come. He showed up late, to my annoyance, the biggest baby that I had. And my husband and I joke that our 6-year-old, who he was only 3 at the time when Kellen was born, our other son, that if he had to have chest surgery and a lobe of his lung removed, it would have been very traumatic for us because he's kind of like bird-like in his shape. And Kellen came out with like this man chest, like whatever, like come at me. So I think he was like born ready for it. And just watching his strength in that time period between when he was born and when he was 8 weeks old and had his surgery just gave me the realization that as women, we tend to try to take on everyone else's problems and everyone else's hardships as our own. And his health had nothing to do with me. It was nothing I did in my pregnancy or didn't do in my pregnancy. It was just genetics. And that can't be fought against. And it really gave me a step back to try to control the controllables. And B, because I was shutting off and focusing all my energy on him, I forgot who I was, as I forgot about myself as a mom and as a teacher and all the other responsibilities I had in my life. And I saw an ad on Facebook, like this coach that I didn't know what that meant, kept like posting that she was running a challenge group, running a challenge group, running a challenge group. And it was going to start the week of Kellen's surgery. And I'm like, this feels really important. It feels like something I need. And I reached out to her, got the pricing, got everything, and it was Christmas time, and I was on maternity leave, and we had 2 kids that were, had tuition for their school at that time, and it was the last thing we could afford. And I said to my husband, I just need this for Christmas. I want nothing else, but I need to be in this group. I feel like it's the only thing that's going to get me moving. And so on January 3rd, I started my first fitness challenge group as a customer. January 8th, Kellen had his CCAM surgery, and January 23rd was my official sign-up date as a coach. Because within those couple of weeks, I felt so called to every element. Inside of the challenge group, I felt like myself. Inside of my workouts, I felt like myself. And I just felt like every other woman in the group, though our experiences were incredibly unique, all were brought there together for a reason, and we motivated each other. And I'm a sorority girl. I was a cheerleader. I've just always loved the company of other women, and I wasn't feeling that in my immediate adult life. Most of my friends and I live far apart from each other. School's crazy, and it was that for me. And so without hesitation, I jumped right on the coaching opportunity. I'm still teaching full time. I ironically started my first group on the Monday after my maternity leave ended. So I went back to school and started a challenge group as my own self as a coach the very same day. And that's kind of how I am. I'm kind of crazy. And when something feels right to me, it doesn't matter what the timing is. It doesn't matter what the rest of my life looks like. It's important, and I'm going to give it my all. And it's given me such community. The only two people right now that I'm looking at on this screen that I knew before coaching were Jackie and Melissa. And Jackie and I were just college acquaintances. If this didn't happen, I doubt we would be on a phone call together today. But Melissa and I were sorority sisters and, BFFs. And so that makes sense. But every single other person on this call came from this experience. And I am just as thankful for my health and for what it's done for my family financially as I am for all of these women that I'm looking at right now and the others that aren't on the call. So it's been incredibly transformative. That's how this happened for me. The how I make it work every day, that's for once you're involved, and we'll give you all that rundown. But when it feels right, it's just right. And you make it happen because it inspires you and it inspires others, and that inspires you. And it's just a big circle of inspiration, and it's glorious. So that's me. And I kept that as short as I could because I'm a chatty. All right, Teresa, it's your turn, girly.
Right. Hi, everybody. I am Teresa. I am a 43-year-old mom of three. I have a 14-year-old son and two girls who are 17 and 20, almost 21. It's crazy. And I'm recently separated. So life is a little crazy right now, kind of going through some things. But I started 3.5 years ago. My husband had just lost his job. I worked with him, and so I decided to leave as well. And we were not employed. We were out of work, had no idea what we were going to do. And I called an infomercial and I ordered the 21 Day Fix DVDs. And I knew I probably shouldn't have because I didn't know where we were going to be financially, but I knew I needed this because I was really in a bad place at that time. Um, I Anxiety, depression, just didn't know what I was going to do. So these DVDs came and I really just dialed in on nutrition because that's what I know, that's what I'm good at. I've never really worked out before, ever. And so I focused on the nutrition and got some really great results and loved it. And then I decided I should probably put those DVDs in because I bought them, so I probably should do something with them. So I started with those. I only did Dirty 30 because I liked that one. I didn't like any of the other ones, so that I did that like every day. I did not use weights. And then when I started getting a little bit more confident, I like grabbed a can of beans because we did not even have weights in our house. So I was like lifting with cans of beans. And then I started kind of venturing a little bit, but still didn't really follow it to a T. I had no coach. So I kind of did it by myself. Nobody reached out to me. I didn't even know that a coach existed. And then a friend of mine, my sister's friend, actually, she's a coach. And my sister was like, oh, I'm in this group. So I joined them and just completely fell in love with it, followed everything to a T. I started doing all of the workouts because everybody else was. And I finally was understanding more about it. And I just fell in love with that community. And that is really what like just drew me to this. I had so many people ask me to become a coach and I kept saying, no, nope, I can't do it. I did have a job at this time then. I did get a job and I just thought I just have so much on my plate with the kids and the job and there's no way I can do that because when I do something, I go all in, like it's everything or nothing. So I just kept saying no. And finally one day I just said, I guess I probably will. I should try it, I guess. I'm encouraging other people in the group, and I just loved it so much. Also, the Shakeology, I said no to that too. I was doing probably for 2.5 years, I said no to that. And I finally said yes to that, yes to coaching. And that's when kind of everything changed in January of last year. I started 80-day obsession and I went all in on that, like 100% to a T. And it was more emotionally, like I grew so much from that program, more than physical. It was just knowing that I was becoming stronger mentally, and I was doing things that I never thought was possible. So through that whole 80-day experience is kind of when I found myself, and some changes were made in my life, and just went all in with coaching because of what it had done for me through that whole experience. So the rest is history. I've just kind of gone all in, and I do this full time, and just absolutely love the community of women, and the support through personal and business has just been amazing. So yeah, that's my story, and here I am.
I love it. It's real funny. It reminded me of when I started, I made my mom join immediately the day after I started, and she started with 21 Day Fix as well. And I remember week 3 of the 3-week program, she texted me while I'm at work one day and goes, what size weights do you think I should be getting? I was like, what do you mean? What have you been doing? She's like, oh, I haven't been doing anything. And then she was using water bottles. So you're not alone in doing that. But I'm like, I thought you were using weights this whole time, Mom. Like, what have you been doing? But so I always joke with people, it's a good way to start. You don't need the equipment if you're not ready. All right, Leslie, your turn for your story.
Hello, everyone. I am Leslie. I am a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. I'm 42 years old, and my kids are 12 and a half, 10, 5, and 2.5. I have 3 girls and a boy, and it is very crazy here, but coaching for me has given me sanity. So when I first started, I actually, my sister-in-law told me to follow Pam. She said she's doing really cool things. I've always really been into like organic food and nutrition and that kind of stuff. And so my sister-in-law was like, follow Pam. And so I did, and Pam reached out to me, and I basically ignored her for a year, didn't talk to her, totally ghosted her. And then when my son was born, it was my first C-section, and I was just in a really bad place. It was really, really hard. I don't have a lot of support system with family or friends. And so the first 4 months of his life were just not very exciting to me, not very fun. And I couldn't get out to go to the gym because I have all these kids. And I still watched Pam's stories. I just didn't respond to her. So I was watching her, I was stalking her. And so he reached out to me right after Christmas 2 years ago and asked me if I wanted to join her next group for the new year. And I was like, yeah, I do. And so I decided, I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to see if it works. I'm going to see what happens. And so I jumped all in and followed everything exactly the way it is, because everything is laid out so well. Like honestly, we don't really have to explain anything to everybody if everybody looks at all the information. I love to learn myself, so I read through everything and followed it the way it was supposed to be done. And the first month, I lost 12 pounds. The second month, I had lost 20 pounds. And before the first month was over, Pam asked me if I wanted to be a discount coach. I could save $25 on my shakes because I was loving the shakes, and they were making me not eat the entire bag of tortillas that I was eating every night before I had started this program. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll save money each month. And then I was added to her team page, and I was like, wait a second, I could actually like do something with this. So I decided within that week, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to make a Facebook page. I'm going to do some Instagram stuff. I'm just going to do it all. So I did all that, but then I slowly started sharing my story, and I was comfortable sharing my transformation. And people started noticing that I was doing something and that I was different, like I was happier, and the rest is history. Like Teresa said, the rest is history. It's just gone on from there, and I've been able to help so many people, and most of all help myself to be a better mom and to be a better person and just to be who I was meant to be instead of hiding in my house with all these kids screaming at me. So I'm able to find pockets of time throughout the day to get this done. I wake up early, I stay up late, and I love it. Like I just love it. And the community has fueled me to continue. So that's me.
That's awesome. Well, do you want to go into the different levels of coaching?
Sure. So as I mentioned, I started as a discount coach, and that is actually a really great option for everyone, because we all just need to be a coach for ourselves. And that's what this is about. This is about doing these programs and being the proof of the product. And if the discount is helpful to you and you love the products, it's just a no-brainer. It's really just a no-brainer. You get 25% off all of the products, all of the VIP access, everything that's going on. And the next level would be the dabblers. That's what we're calling it, the dabblers, is maybe you just want to be a discount coach. Maybe you're sharing a little bit on social media. Maybe you're just talking to your friends and not sharing on social media. Maybe you're just helping your family. Or you just want to pay for that Target bill that you don't want your husband to find out about. Or maybe you just want something a little bit more for yourself so that you're like, yeah, I really like doing this. I want to make a little extra cash. I want to help my friends and family. It's just something that is kind of like a hobby, I would say, a dabbler. The next level is you want to build a team. You want to actually do what we are doing as coaches and make something of this and create a team, create an income, whatever your goals are business-wise. You can do that because Beachbody gives you every single training, every single piece of information that you need to move forward. And they're constantly changing that so that you can build your team and follow the structure to do so. All laid out. And if you plug into all the tools and you work, it works. So I think those are the three. I think that covers the...
I love it. Perfect. I keep muting because I hear Kellen's still awake. He hasn't come down, but I'm just a little nervous. My 3-year-old likes to pop into all these calls. I'm going to go into the building phase a little bit more and what Leslie said, that Beachbody provides so much for us. And so depending what kind of a person you are, and depending, even if you're a dabbler or a builder, all of the resources could be there for you to pretty much plug and play anything you'd need. If you see the challenge groups we're running, there are guides to running those challenge groups. You could copy, paste, and put it out. There's social media posts. There's trainings on how to create accounts. There's all of this stuff for us. Or you can invent the wheel and reinvent the wheel and do what it is that you like to do. And every one of us goes about that differently because of the different pockets of time we have, because of our different strengths. And we also have this community that we've created with our different teams coming together that have given us an avenue to share and to work together. I mentioned earlier that Nicole's my success partner. We, about 2.5 years ago, started running our groups together and have done that every single month since. She is a stay-at-home mom and always the PTO mom and doing all the stuff at school. Dare I say she ever is a day home. But our hours are kind of shifted. I'm up late at night and checking in with everyone late and covering the bases there. She's putting out all the fires during the day. We have our strengths where she's the nutrition guru and I've got, I don't know what I've got, motivation, I guess, that kind of stuff. And when you put it together, it creates a really great group. And there are some people who like to do things their own and do things in a smaller niche with their own people. Jackie's got a group running right now with all of her friends from growing up. Like all her high school buddies are in a group. There's no rule and there's no right way to do it. There's just your way. And if you have no idea what your way is, the tools are there for you. Our tools are there for you. Beachbody's tools are there for you. And that's really great. And the other thing about Beachbody, there's 2 things I want to mention. Number one, It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a closet full of product, unless it's a closet full of product you've purchased, which I do have a closet full of product. But we aren't required to sell anything. We aren't required to hold inventory. So if someone wants to order from you, they go to the website and they order under you. You don't have a closet full of mom magic or mom crack that you're trying to hawk off on your friends. And if not, you're in debt. So just know that the cost of your own fitness and health is the cost to register. And that's what makes us very different than a lot of multi-level marketing companies or, home networking companies, because of that lack of overhead. And so what you produce is what you produce. It's just like I say to my students in the classroom, you're going to get out of this what you put into it. And if you put in the work and you want to put in the work, you're going to get some reward. If you want to dabble, or if you want to just get the discount, then that's the kind of business you're going to have. All are the exact same sign up, and all are the exact same terms and conditions. You don't want to do this anymore? You bow out. There's no fees. There's no nothing. It's really, really such a simple in and out. And the other thing I want to say about Beachbody is it's a company of fire. It's just a company that's constantly growing. Leslie alluded to this. They're always reinventing their position in health and fitness and the tools that they provide for us to make it better. They're hosting a ton of live events and creating all of these experiences for us coaches to bring to our customers and for the entire customer base, both in the United States, Canada, and the UK currently, to really help us reach as many people. The company's mission is to end the trend of obesity. And our tagline, which I don't know why I'm saying all this cheesy stuff, is decide, commit, succeed. And it really is a good measure for your own fitness, and it's also a good measure for your business. You decide you're in, you commit to it, you're going to succeed. And your success is going to look different than mine and Leslie's and Teresa's and everyone else's, because it belongs just to you. As I mentioned, I founded Tribe Redefine, and all of these girls and I have kind of come together to work our businesses in tandem with one another. So a few of us share, downlines or family trees, or we share our sponsor coach, or we're kind of branches off of the same family, like second cousins and best friends across the street kind of a relationship. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that we all work together, and how we've built this is through that community and through these relationships that foster a common mission to just be better ourselves and to help other people do that. And Teresa's going to talk a little bit more about that community and the accountability that's a part of it. But just know, if you join one of us, you are joining this community. You're joining this tribe, regardless of what it says on your tank top, or regardless of who it says your upline is. You're a part of this bigger network, and it's, I think, pretty special. All right, Teresa.
All right, so I am going to talk a little bit about community accountability and personal development. I'll start with personal development because I think that's such a huge thing. I personally have never done any personal development until probably summer of last year. Even when I started with 80 Day Obsession in January, I had not really done any personal development. It was Girl Wash Your Face when that came out. I got it, and that was a game changer for me with personal development. And then people were asking me about podcasts, and I was like, I never even heard of a podcast. Like, I'm ancient. So now that is all I listen to. Like, I do not even listen to music. I'm constantly just kind of fueling myself with things that are going to make me better, and also be able to share that with other women. And not only in our groups, but when we meet people on social media, or even at basketball games and field hockey games, I'll be talking to somebody and somebody's going through something, and I'll immediately think of a podcast and I will send that to them and help them through something, not even anything related to Beachbody. It's just forming those relationships and building those relationships with people. Some people that you know, some people that you don't know. It was a little different for me for social media because I really wasn't on social media a lot. But now it's just been so amazing how many people that you can connect with that are going through something that you're going through. And by sharing your story on social media, it's really hard, I think, to start that. But once you do, and people reach out to you that you don't even know, and they're telling you how much that helps them through something, that is like just the most amazing gift ever. Like, then it makes it all worth it. I mean, I could be sharing things about things that I'm going through, and as hard as it is, I know in my heart that it's going to help somebody, and I may not even ever find out that it has helped them, and that is okay because it's helping somebody in one way or another. So it's scary at first if you're not used to doing that. You really have to just kind of dig deep and just start somewhere and share something small. And when you hear that first message from somebody, it's going to just kind of fuel your fire to keep going, because it is your story that you're sharing. It's not anybody else's. So you can share your journey and share your story and impact other people in the long run. So that kind of, like I said, that does go with personal development, with just building those relationships with people and being more confident in yourself to be able to share your story and your journey. And then business development also is something different for me. So if you are doing this as a business, there's so many great things that can help you along the way. And it's podcasts that you're listening to in the car or when you're cooking dinner, and you just kind of find those times that you can pop something on and listen to it and learn something as well. I will talk a little bit about our teams. I kind of break it down into two. I think we have our coaching team, which those of you who are on here and have become friends, which is amazing. Pam touched base on that a lot, so I won't go over that too much. I think you kind of get the point where we never would have met each other had it not been for this. And my success partner is Leslie. So we just kind of formed our, we just kind of met up and started talking, and we have a lot in common and just work really well together. So we help each other out. And some things, when you form that, like I'm better at some, not better, but I'm good at one thing and she's good at another. So we kind of work together at helping each other out. And that's been just really, really great. So I really have loved that. And then also your team that you're creating, like your clients or customers or whatever you call them. I call them family because they really do become your family. It could be people that you meet on social media. It could be friends that, it could be part of your family that is joining you, but you're all in this group together and you're all going through your own journey and you're helping each other along the way. As much as I feel like as a coach, you think that you're helping other people, they are helping you and they're helping hold you accountable to your own journey and your own commitment that you are making for yourself. So it really goes both ways. I'm trying to think. We have our accountability group. I'm assuming everybody here is in a challenge group, or is everybody, I'm not sure. I can't see the chat, but the accountability group is something that really kind of changed me, as I told you before. It's just a nice little place for everybody to be in, that you can check in with your workout to hold yourself accountable, check in with your shake just to make sure that you're getting that in. But more importantly, it's just encouraging other people, and then having that come back to you just keeps you going. I know today I just kind of posted a little midweek, even though it's Thursday, post like, this is where everybody's at and we have some contests going on, and if you want to reach that goal, this is what you need to do, this is where you're at. It's a little competitive sometimes, a little friendly competitiveness. So everyone's different, so what fuels one person may not fuel another, so we kind of try to get every avenue with that. So and then let's see, I know for most of us, we do a virtual workout, which has been so nice. And that's another piece of accountability. We have this just like this, where we meet up. It's open 24/7, so you can hop in whenever. We just had somebody in our group that was in it yesterday all by herself. She took a picture and she's like, I was in there all by myself. But it was something that she knew would hold her accountable by going in. She didn't know if somebody else was going to be there. And it helps me get up in the morning because I know the girls are on there too. So again, it's holding yourself accountable, not just holding everybody else accountable. let's see. I think that is it that I want to go over. Does anybody else, do you have anything else to go on that? The challenge group has been, it's just so important to try and make sure that people are in that and that you are engaging in them and building the relationship in there, as well as all of them coming together. And it's kind of neat because they get to know each other too, and they form relationships. So it's like a trickle down effect. So we're building relationships with our customers, and then we put them into this group, and sometimes they're sharing the same thing and they can help each other out. So that's really, really neat as a coach, just to see all of that kind of forming too.
Thank you. Stitch says hi. That's not the child I assumed would be interrupting. I love it. We wanted to give you a chance to ask questions, but there's a couple things I just wanted to point out as well. Leslie talked about the 25% discount. In case you're wondering on how you make money, it's kind of the same. So it's usually around a $25 commission on products. So you can kind of get a ballpark for what that would look like. Since many of you, I'm sure, are customers of one of ours, you've seen what the cost is to sign up for something. That would be about what your commission works up to be. As your team grows, or as you build a little bit more, you get bonuses off of that. So your commission's always your commission. Melissa, for example, is my coach. Her commission isn't skimmed off and I get a piece of it. But if my team works to a certain degree, if I build them up enough, then I get bonuses from the company to match some of what my team provides, if that makes sense. So what you earn is yours to keep, and it stays the same. Everybody's equal in that respect. And no matter what time it is you come into this business and where you fall in your family tree, what we call our downline, you could out earn the person who brought you in. There's no, it's not like the person at the top always has to be the most. But there's always incentives as well. I'm wearing a tank top, a t-shirt that I got from one of the incentives that we had last year. I'm heading to LA next week for a leadership conference that I qualified for, that Beachbody is paying for me to attend, paying for my hotel. I get to work out live with Autumn Calabrese. So there's a lot of opportunity, from t-shirts to trips to lots of things. But you've seen that. You know what network marketing does. I just think we do it best in this company personally, right? Yeah, she agrees.
Giving me Autumn?
Shush. Silence is consent in this respect, right? But anyway, we wanted to give you an opportunity to ask questions, and to let you know also that, first off, there's plenty of different ways you can sign up as a coach. It depends upon where you are currently in your journey, what you've purchased in the past, what you're looking to purchase, and the person who invited you here or who shared this recording with you will be able to go through the best option for you. We're not going to oversell you. We want you to be able to commit to us with what's comfortable for you, so that you can take this journey and run with it. But I will say that from the day I signed up, January 23rd, I haven't had to pay for my Shakeology since. I've been able to make enough to cover and exceed that. And that's a huge bonus for me and for my family. So just to keep that in mind. And also that if you do decide that what we've said is awesome, and if we didn't talk your ear off too much, and you'd like to commit to this tonight, or, to be fair, anybody who gets the recording, if you commit the day you receive the recording, I'll just throw that in, I hope that's okay with my coach friends, that we are going to send you Mom Magic, is what I call it, Mom Crack, as Leslie calls it, which is our pre-workout Energize that we absolutely love. And you'll get to decide if you want some right away. There's lemon that is out, but coming in February 19th, they're debuting a new fruit punch. So if you would prefer that, we will be sending you one of the first fruit punch installments. You can't have that, so don't get too excited. So anyway, does anybody have questions? You could either unmute yourself and ask them, or if you're more comfortable just typing them in the chat, you can. I'll give it a few minutes for questions. I teach high school, so I have really good wait time. Awesome. Then do any of the other coaches have anything they would like to say, since we hogged the mic? Awesome. Well, good. It's a little after 9. We'll let you guys go. I'm going to end the recording now.